Good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. Welcome back to the Brandon Mason Show. I'm feeling pretty good, pretty goddamn good right now. I got to tell you, football is back tonight. We have our first play-by-play with the Bears and the Texans tonight at 8 p.m. We're live on this. Do not forget, if you're here right now, good morning to you. We are back. We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. We're talking about Dak Prescott, in particular, his team, some impact players, but more importantly, are they saying goodbye to Dak Prescott? Are they letting his contract expire to see what he's doing this year? Or are they saying, hey, look, we're still working on this. What's going on? We're going to dive into that right now. I got my coffee ready right here. My mom said, where you go, I go. I have this coffee mug here. Every time I get new mugs, I do that. But this is one we have for a little bit of time. So we're looking to get some new mugs started. If you have a mug and you want it on here, let me know. I'll bring it on the show and we'll talk about it and make sure we have an announcement from you. Here we are now. It is August 1st. Can you believe it already? This year, 2024, has blown by so fast. The most important thing that I like is I want time to slow down, but I want the NFL to be back. So I'm like, let's go. Wait, slow down, pump the brakes. So now we're back at it. Tonight is our first play-by-play. The Texans, the Bears. We're live tonight. We'll talk about that in a second, about Caleb Williams. Will he get out there and get some snaps? What's going on? But right now, let's dive into Dak Prescott, the Dallas Cowboys. What's going on? Get your coffee ready. Get your tea ready. Good morning to everybody in here right now. Let's get it started. Are the Dallas Cowboys passing on Dak? Right? Like, that's the conversation right now because we got a lot of things to talk about. But Dak Prescott is there. He's made a lot of money. He's thrown for a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns. He was in the MVP conversation. So we really don't even have to go into a lot of the statistics and all that. That's kind of irrelevant at this moment. We can go to that in a second. What I want to say is, how do the Dallas Cowboys feel about Dak Prescott? Jerry Jones, the ending of last season, obviously getting beat by the Packers in the playoffs was kind of like a wow, like an awakening, a slap in the face, kind of getting, a block knocked off. Like, hey, look, you're playing against the Packers, against Jordan Love. First time in the playoffs, Dak Prescott, tons of experience, has been with the Cowboys for a substantial amount of time. And everybody's like, wow, Dak Prescott, a lot of money in the MVP conversation. What's going on with Dak? What's going on with Jerry Jones? What's going on with Mike McCarthy? We'll get to that too. CeeDee Lamb, a lot of questions with that too. Contract talk, see what they're going to do with him, how they're going to restructure his deal. But right now, the conversation leads into this. What do they want to do with Dak Prescott? He's put up some numbers. And I'd like to get on here, and even last season, the year before last season, I got on here and I started telling the truth about, look, he's a regular season winner. I'm going to go into what I think about him. I'm going to go into reality, though, what he deserves. Okay, so before anybody says, hey, you're talking bad about Dak, you're talking good about Dak, listen to the message in clear first. I believe he's a great regular season winner. No off-the-field drama, no issues. He's going to step to the plate. He's going to get you your wins. At a floor, at a low, he's still going to get you 8, 9 wins. At a high, possibly 12 wins. Like, that's what Dak Prescott brings to the table. When I compare him in a second to other quarterbacks, you'll see what I'm talking about. On the floor level, you're like, he's still getting you wins. He's still passing for yards, still passing for touchdowns. He's still a quarterback that can play well in the National Football League. When he gets to the height of the market, when you're like, wow, this guy's balling, the 12 games kind of right there, not a Super Bowl type guy yet. But at the end of the day, this is where the Dallas Cowboys have to make some decisions. Who do they have on the roster? Who can they bring in? Who can they draft? Where are they going to pass the baton to? Like, who are they going to give that baton to get in there next? That's the question that they have also, right? They're bringing in players. And I think what's going on with Dak Prescott, reality is they have to really think about the opportunity they have with him during the season and then toward, like, say, after week 5, week 6, they're kind of know where they're going, right? But Dak Prescott will win games. I got schedules on here. I'm going to pull up in a second right here. Let me pull up this for one quick second. Dak Prescott needs to produce more to stay? Like, is that the question? Is it winning games? Is it producing more? Like, that's really what it comes down to. When people are like, I don't really know. Like, he was in an MVP conversation. And when you're in the MVP conversation and you got your owner there standing with you, it's like, okay, you obviously produced a lot. When you're in the MVP talks, you had obviously Lamar Jackson gets the MVP, but you got Lamar Jackson, you had Dak Prescott, you had Brock Purdy, Josh Allen jumped in the mix. Then obviously some running back, Christian McCaffrey in that position. But at the quarterback level, if you look at the reality of it, forget what, just the win category. Look at the reality of what's going on. The Dallas Cowboys have a quarterback. They're just like, we're ready to win a Super Bowl. Like, back in the day, they had, Troy Aikman, right? And he was getting the Super Bowls. They had players like that. And it was like, What do they have to do to prove to the fan base or to the organization that they need that extended deal to stay here longer? What can he do? The only thing Dak Prescott can do is just win at this point. It's not numbers. It's not throwing for touchdowns. It's in the big game at a big time, winning that game right there for your team, being able to get down there, especially in the red zone, not throwing that pick, right? You're in the red zone, getting it right where you need it. Tom Brady, getting it where you need it. Some of these players do that. People like Patrick Mahomes, you just can't bet against him. He finds ways to win, and that's why they get those massive contracts. But when you look at what Dak Prescott actually got, he got a massive freaking contract, right? So you're like, what can he do? Does he have to produce more on the field? It's just W's, right? Less L's, more W's, and he is a strong regular season winner. And we go into this all the time. We have that conversation because reality is when I look at all these quarterbacks across the board, we're going to compare him. I got a couple of the images I want to bring up for you guys today, but I'm going to compare him to what he's actually done to other quarterbacks. Because all I'm saying is you go home at night, he's your quarterback, you're not losing sleep, he's not out partying. When you look at all the other quarterbacks out there that got drafted, Baker Mayfield, Cam Newton, these guys are in the first round, first pick in the draft. You can go on and on. And then you look at other guys like Jared Goff, guys that are winning around the National Football League that weren't, maybe a number one pick, number two pick. Dak Prescott's one of those guys that's getting W's in the comments. Some of the other guys that were in the top rounds aren't playing, or they're not starting, or they're not really producing anymore. So at the end of the day, when we get to the contract conversation, which we're going to get to in a second, we're going to get to the contract conversation of what he needs to do to extend that contract. I want to say this. Dak actually said recently, he said right there in a quote at the bottom of the screen you can see right now, another team may be a reality for me. Like he's looking at it now going, holy shit, like this is the first time in his career, that he's like, wow, I may actually have to play somewhere else. Like this is really the first time. He said, this could be a reality for me that I have to play another team. And that's because he's like, wow, my contract's going to run up. They haven't extended that to me. If you look around the National Football League, a lot of people are getting that contract now. A lot of players, I don't care what position you are, quarterbacks, receivers, tight ends, DBs, they're getting those contracts and they're in those conversations right now, right? So he had tears in his eyes when he was having these conversations. Sorry about that. He had tears in his eyes when he was having these conversations, and it was like, man, this really could be a reality that I'm actually going to be playing for another program, another organization. And he's like, he sees himself with a star on his helmet for his entire career. And that's the kind of player you want on your team. So regardless of, I can say all day, look, Dak Prescott's going to be gone. They're not going to keep him. His contract's going to expire. He's going to go somewhere. At the end of the day, what you want in your locker room is somebody who, when you go home at night, like I said, if you're in here right now, hit that like button. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, put it in the chat. Put your favorite team in the chat right now so we know who your favorite team is, and drop the dice in there as well, because this is important conversation right now. This is going to change a lot of what's going on. But he said right there, another team may be a reality right now. So heading into this season, this is a big part in conversation that you have to understand. If, in fact, he might be gone, how does he look into this season? How does Dak Prescott move into this season? Like, okay, I'm playing for my contract. Are you playing for your team? Are you playing for personal reasons? I understand what it's like when you want to get out there and ball out and you're like, hey, when you got a couple years left, you're like, hey, we got a team, we got camaraderie, we're building. This is where he sat with Jerry Jones multiple times, sat with Mike McCarthy multiple times. And I got these pictures right here I want to pull up as well. This is an important shot. This is an important shot right here. I think this is a very important actual image. Let me pull this one back up here. This is what I think it's about. This is your owner. You have to have this relationship with your owner. A lot of people, obviously, your head coach is important. You have offense coordinators, you got quarterback coaches, you got all kinds of, but at the end of the day, the owner has to really like you as well. Valuable. I think Jerry Jones is extremely high on Dak Prescott. The end of last season, after losing to the Packers, I think there was a massive blow to the heart. Like, whoa, we should at least beat the Packers, right? Get past Jordan Love in his first playoff game. We should have got past him and got to the next round at least. Then you could say, hey, shit's a little tough in the postseason playing against great teams. You get to the second, past wild card games. You get to the, before the NFC Championship game or in the NFC Championship game. I can see that being something to talk about. But here's the thing. I got the schedule here as well. Let me pull the schedule up for a second and go in who they got, who they're playing. Let me pull this up here actually right now. Here we go. They get the Browns, the Saints, the Ravens, the Giants, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Lions, Eagles, 49ers, Falcons, Eagles again, right? And then you got the Texans, Washington, Giants, Bengals, Panthers, Bucks, Eagles again, and Washington. I mean, if I look at their schedule, it kind of goes pretty tough and a little tough. They have an opportunity this year. Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys have one hell of an opportunity this season to play well. They really do, and they have all the talent. The reality is your quarterback is a forefront. He's a sheriff in town. He's the guy that runs your operation. He's showing up on Sundays, running your huddle. If you don't know if you're going to extend him, there's a lot of emotion in the locker room, a lot of emotion, a lot of things not being said, a lot of things that are, kind of spouting around the franchise. People want to know what's going on. Reality is this is who's running your program, running your team. This is your captain. This is your coach on the field, if you want to call it that. So if the team doesn't know if they're keeping their quarterback, it's going to take their team, I think, a little bit of a frenzy. Does he deserve to be extended? When you look at Dak Prescott, I want to answer this for a second, too. A lot of people, I'm going to go into this for a second. It might be another team, might be reality. But does he deserve this extension? Let me be honest with you guys right now. I tell you all last season, regular season winner, not winning the big game. But does he deserve a contract? This is how I believe. I believe Dak Prescott has a lot of opportunities. If it's not with the Dallas Cowboys, he's going to get a massive contract somewhere else. People need quarterbacks. They need people that, coming from the Dallas Cowboys, a big-time organization, with a lot going on, the spotlight, he will ball for somebody else. But I think right now, Dak Prescott deserves something. Now, that massive contract that he got is what hinders it, right? Like $160 million. That's what makes it like, we gave you all this money. If they would have given him like 80, 90 million or 100 million coming into this year, would have said, hey, let's extend you, 2 years, 60 million, 2 years, 40 million. They could have did a deal to see how they can get their franchise going. They can restructure it. But because they gave that massive deal, they want to see what's going to happen. They really want to take their time and make some decisions to make sure that this is going to work out. And thank you. I just saw that coming in, gifted a membership. Mahai, thank you for coming into the building.
Make some noise!
Gifted a membership to Annie. We love to see that because Annie's always in the building. She'll be so happy to see she just got that Mahai. We appreciate you coming in. Everybody to the live stream right now. Throw the dice in the chat. We got another member in the building dropping in, building the Mason Mob on a daily basis. Thank you for jumping in here. Let's get back to what we're talking about right now. Will Dak Prescott be with the Dallas Cowboys after this season? Yes or no? Put it in the chat right now. And right now, 50% of people are saying, yeah, he deserves it. 50% of people are saying no. Like, this is a realistic measure where Dak Prescott might be there. But when I might not be there. But when I compare it, right, and I start looking at this, how does Dak Prescott compare to other quarterbacks? And that's what I was telling you about. Those guys that were drafted first round, first pick, whatever. When you compare him to a lot of these other quarterbacks, I'm just saying Dak Prescott is riding with the wave like a lot of them. It's not like he's doing, that much better or that much worse than any of them. But to be in the MVP conversation, you got to be doing something right. And like I said, they love what he brings to the table. I believe that his right now, did he have a ceiling in the last couple of years? I felt like with the Cowboys, a little bit of a ceiling was kind of coming down. Like, wasn't just jumping out of the box. But like I said, a lot of the fan base and people are like, we got to get our quarterback lined up. We need to know who we're keeping. And I think a lot of people don't respect that enough or don't understand that enough. You have to realize your team really rides on the coattail of who's your quarterback. Like, you can't head into the preseason confused about your contract. Oh, are they going to keep me or they're not going to keep me? You got to focus on the game, right? And Dak Prescott right now, he's not only playing to win the Cowboys over right now, he's got to play to win over the National Football League because he could be playing on Sunday somewhere else after this year if they don't restructure that contract. And I have the whole, their team, who they're going to play against, NFC. I got their division here, the Eagles, the Giants, Washington, and you know me, I hate saying the Washington Commanders. I'd rather say Washington Redskins, but you know how it is out there with the world. Can't even have Aunt Jemima anymore. Can't have her on the front of the syrup. So we got to go the Washington Commanders. But at the end of the day, look, the Cowboys got the Eagles to worry about. Realistically, like, that's the only team that really they need to worry about. If you're even confused about who they could win right there, I think the Dallas Cowboys have a good shot this season. In the chat right now, drop those lucky numbers in the chat right now. We're getting ready tonight because we have our live play-by-play tonight at 8 o'clock. Put those lucky numbers out there because we're going to be spinning that wheel tonight for the game, for the Hall of Fame game with the Bears and the Texans. I know Miss Lex is in the building out there in Dallas, or out there in Texas. So I know you probably got your eyes on that game tonight. So I will see you tonight live on the live stream for sure. Let's move forward for a quick topic for a second. will CeeDee Lamb and Mike McCarthy be next? And when I say will they be next is, will the Dallas Cowboys choose to keep CeeDee and get the contract where he wants it? Or will they say, look, man, there's a lot going on. I'm just saying, or are they clearing how? Are they going to clean house? Jerry Jones has been an owner of a football team since I was, I don't even know how long he's been there. But he's walking around 100 years old. He's got a lot of things going on. He's got, I think, a daughter that is trying to prove that it's actually, she's the daughter, and he's got a whole lawsuit on that, or whatever the case may be, trying to disclose money and keep things on hush. Whatever the case may be, I'm not knocking Jerry Jones. I'm just saying he's got a lot going on. I like him. He just got a lot going on. So the question is, are they going to keep CeeDee Lamb? Are they going to keep Mike McCarthy? In the chat right now, should they restructure CeeDee Lamb's deal? Should they keep CeeDee Lamb? Because I got to tell you, this is a guy that can make plays. Dak Prescott needs CeeDee Lamb for sure to get out there and ball out. But if they get rid of Dak, are these two next? Mike McCarthy came in. Mike McCarthy has some great seasons with other teams. Packers, comes in. He wins. But again, similar to Dak Prescott, where he gets you a lot of wins. Like, you're going to get your wins. Your 11, 12 wins in a season. Are you going to win Super Bowls, right? The Dallas Cowboys, I hope you guys understand this right now. The Dallas Cowboys are upset because it's time to win. Like, I'm not saying that they haven't won Super Bowls in the past. I'm saying they put together a team. In reality, if you look around the offensive line, you look at the tight end Ferguson now, they have plenty of tight ends for years coming up through the program. Novacek, Jason Witten, now Ferguson. They have all these other tight ends that played well. And now they have, obviously, CeeDee Lamb. They brought other receivers. They have a great defense. They got Stephon Diggs. They got Michael Parsons. They got a lot of players, right? Then you look at the offensive lineup and you go, okay, CeeDee, you're there. Do we keep your contract? Do we extend your contract? How much money do you need? Are you and Dak Prescott going to be on the same page this year? Are you and Dak Prescott going to win some football games this year? And that's what's so important right now that they do. This duo right here, they got to be close. And I'm just telling you, the offense has to come together, and they must gel. And I got some other pitches I want to pull up here in a second. But that was a question. Will they get rid of them? Will they keep them? Is Mike McCarthy worth extending big time money to? We know CeeDee Lamb needs to get paid. But now, Dallas Cowboys roster may change drastically after this year if things don't work themselves out. And what I mean by that is, if Dak Prescott's not there and they're bringing another quarterback in, immediately that's going to change how the operation looks. Then you got CeeDee Lamb. If you lose for some reason, not saying they're going to do this, but for some reason they trade CeeDee Lamb to get a first-round pick or something to get a quarterback, not saying that's going to happen, but let me tell you something. They more than likely will make that happen and sign CeeDee. But here's what I'm saying. If you are trying to get rid of Dak Prescott and you want to get a first-round pick, the best way to do that is to trade CeeDee to somebody and get a first-round pick, if you can, and get a big-time quarterback. And then you got to start looking at where's my receiver. So the Dallas Cowboy roster, depending on how they move things around here, can be very shifty heading into 2025. So this year right now, they're going to have Dak Prescott on the roster. CeeDee's right there right now. They got some awesome opportunities. But I'm just saying, when I look up who's on the roster right now, they even got Ezekiel Elliott back. Right? So they got Dak, CeeDee, Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield. They got, they had Tony Pollard and Ezekiel at the same time. And I think that was a strong duo. That would have been a strong situation. And now with Ezekiel Elliott back on roster, this is what they want for this year. If they don't win a Super Bowl this year, I'm just saying, if they don't get far in the postseason, I'm talking to the NFC Championship game, winning the NFC Championship game, and if you lose in the Super Bowl, you can kind of walk away. If you get beat by Patrick Mahomes, if you get beat by a strong powerhouse team, at least you got to the Super Bowl. Your team is happy they got there. You don't want to lose, obviously. But if you get to that position and at least you're happy enough to get there, at least you could say, Dak brought us to a Super Bowl, right? That's kind of important, and I think that they want that. But the reality is, right now, this is the true reality of everything. Dak Prescott has earned a contract. Dak Prescott has put up numbers. Dak Prescott doesn't get in trouble. Dak Prescott doesn't have any off-the-field issues. Dak Prescott is comparable to other players that are playing phenomenal. He's in the MVP conversation. So whether or not you like Dak or think he's a regular season winner, hasn't won postseason, he's well-deserved of a big-time contract either with the Dallas Cowboys, and I believe there's a lot of openings other places. Yesterday I pulled up 5 to 6 teams I pulled up on the computer, and I looked. He's worthy of at least 6, 7 new teams that would bring him in. I'm just saying. So the Dallas Cowboys, it isn't like a situation where nobody wants him to come to the roster. So all I'm saying is right now, this is a strong opportunity. It's a very strong opportunity. And right now in the chat, this is the time where if you have any questions, you can put it up and I can pull it up on the screen right now. And you guys can talk with me. Let me get this going right now. If you have a question or you want to say something in the chat, put the number sign, the hashtag right there, hashtag and your question. Hashtag and your question right now, and we can add that on there. And look, we're going to be rocking and rolling right now. Let me see, make sure this is all connected here. Boom, we're rocking and rolling. There we go. All right. There we go. I got it here. Hashtag, put your question right now. If you got something to say right now, hashtag and put your question out there, and I can see it right now. Let me see where this is at here. Boom. Here's all our messages. Here they go. Now, anything you want to say about the program, about Dak Prescott, about anything, say it right now. Hashtag, put your question in the chat. Put the hashtag in front of it, and I will pull it up on the screen. But look, are the Dallas Cowboys going to pass on Dak Prescott? We got some right now coming in. Let's go. Put it up there. Let me see your messages. Let me see what you got to say as we load up some of these questions right now. Let me see what's going on here. But listen, here's one big thing before we can go into that. A lot of people, and I kind of actually felt kind of bad. I'm like, well, man, Dak Prescott actually did do a pretty damn good job, right? Like, he did a lot more than people probably gave him credit for, right? But there's a lot of money on the line. There's a lot of money. I think, let me restart this for a second. There's a lot of money on the line, and I think the problem that the Dallas Cowboys have is they don't want to lose any more money. Like, they don't want to walk away from having another quarterback, right? Like, they don't want to lose another good quarterback, but they really want to say, hey, can we give Dak Prescott one more ride here? And I don't think they can give him a 1 year, kind of deal. I think they have to give him a much longer deal. Let me see if this is actually rocking and rolling here. I apologize, guys. I'm going to see if our thing is here moving along. I know we had some questions from yesterday that popped up on the screen. So as you're putting those in there, put the hashtags in there. I'm going to get to that in a second right now. In the live stream right now, we're also going to spin the wheel and give away some money as well. We can drop the wheels in the chat. I'm going to go back and check those hashtags out in 1 second as we connect to our YouTube platform here to make sure that we are on and we are live. Let me see. Dallas Cowboys, we are live. Yes, we are. Boom. All right, let's connect those chat messages coming in. Drop those lucky numbers. Yeah, put the wheel in the chat. Let's not forget that. We're going to get ready to spin the wheel first before we do that and see if we can get these questions out here and see if we're connected in the live stream. Let me see who's coming in. I see the wheels. Pitbull Mama, how are you doing? I see you in here. Ma High's in the building. Jeff Lee's in the building. Chad is in the building. Roger, how you doing? Who else? Candy, who else is in here? Gerard is in the building, back in here. Miss Lex, Brittany's out here, and everyone's coming in here. The NFL season, we're going live tonight. I cannot wait for tonight's game. We got Annie's in the building. We have the game tonight, live play. You guys better not miss it. Let me just see if this damn thing is popping up here. Give me 1 second here. We got sometimes with our live stream, with all the messages coming in, all the social media stuff we got going on, it'll pop up and sometimes it won't. So we're checking right now to see if we are rocking and rolling and connected for some of our visual here. There we go. We pop up here. Oh, yeah, I think we're rocking and rolling right now. Let me check. Give me 1 second. There we go. Before we spin the wheel, let's get some of these messages up here live on the screen. Who do we got up here? Who's got something to say? I believe Jeff Lee had something to say here. Let me see what's going on. Let me go back here for a second. Jeff Lee, what did you have to say here, bud? We're going to pull it up on the screen here right now to see what your message is. We don't have anybody else that can get us any further. So what you're saying basically is, look, if we don't have Dak Prescott, who are we going to have, right? Who are we going to work with? If we don't have Dak Prescott, do you guys agree with that? Do you guys agree, like, if they don't use Dak Prescott, that they just don't have another opportunity? Like, is there anybody else they can get that they can bring in the back? I mean, look, they had Trey Lance coming into the pie. It was like, oh, are they trying to replace Dak with Trey over time? Like, is that something that can happen? Is that in the chat right now? Do you guys think the Dallas Cowboys have anybody else that they can bring on, that they can work with? That's an honest message from Jeff. It says, we don't have anybody else to work with, right? We have anybody else to work with. Let's see what else we got. Roger, what are we saying here? Don't you think that Dak, CeeDee, and the coach all good together depending on production? Yeah, I agree. Together, the combination, the roster is phenomenal. Like when I look at the Dallas Cowboys, I look at what they got from the quarterback position all the way down, the running back, Ezekiel Elliott, tight end. They got receivers. They got a coaching staff. They got an owner's been there forever, diehard Dallas Cowboy fans. They have a great defense. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys, if they pull it together, and there's a lot of fans in here from different teams, but the reality is if the Dallas Cowboys pull it together, they got one hell of a team this year. Like, they can do some great things. They can do some great things. Like, that's the real reality. Will they do some great things? Like, that's, I don't know about that. Another message here that's coming in here. Let's go from Chad, what we got coming in right now. Let's go, Brandon. I love that. Are the Cowboys cursed or what? Like, it's like, look, the Dallas Cowboys were supposed to be America's team, right? For a long time, people are like, America's team, America's team. And look, some people say they're not America's team, but then we look at the reality of all these years, all these fans. You can travel all around the world. You have Cowboy fans in a lot of places. I know there's a lot of people out there that hate the Dallas Cowboys too, but when you travel the world, you literally show up in random places like you're a Cowboys fan. Like you're in New Jersey, you're in Pennsylvania, you're Texas, a lot of them, right? And you go to California, you go to all these places. There's a lot of Cowboy fans out there. I'm just saying, I agree. Are they cursed? I don't know. Like since, Troy Aikman was there, this has been years now when I was a kid watching football, younger, I was like, Dallas Cowboys are balling when they had Troy Aikman, they had Michael Irvin, they had Emmitt Smith, and that's why I said they had like the Jay Novacek and the Jason Witten years after that. And you keep on going, they have all these great, phenomenal players, and you're like, wow. Even guys like Alvin Harper, right? All these people. I don't know if they're cursed or not, but we'll do that. If you have a question, drop it out there right now. You got to put a hashtag and then put it out there. Mahai, what's going on? Let's see what you got to say right now. Mahai just dropped a message in the chat for people to see. Here we go. It says, sorry, my eyes are terrible. What do you call a hot dog without a bun? A lonely wiener. A lonely wiener. Look at this guy. Hey, I want to see you tonight, Mahai. We're going to see you out there for sure tonight. We're going to do that tonight. We got the live stream rocking and rolling tonight for the game. Do not miss it. We got more messages coming in right now. We got the live stream tonight is going to be rocking and rolling for the play-by-play. You better not miss it because we got the game live. More people will be coming in watching the Hall of Fame game. Here we go. Did you practice to get your voice to the perfect or for broadcasting? No. You know what? I appreciate that, chat. Here's the thing. I really think that it's time to start doing that. There's a time for me to really start practicing my voice. And look, I appreciate you guys jumping in here with the live stream because this is a new production, new play-by-plays, obviously, morning show. I've been offering a lot of money to go a lot of places. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I want to build a platform here with people coming in during the NBA season when we had thousands of people on our live stream. And then heading into this morning, obviously, we have more people joining our show. After the show, more people start coming in. I don't do any advertising. I don't do any of that craziness. Zero. All I use some social media stuff. I haven't posted on social media, only on the story posts because I'm preparing for the NFL season. There is going to be a hell of a lot of people in here. You're going to love it. I appreciate that, Chad. I really appreciate that message. It means a lot to me. I hope that things could keep going, rocking and rolling. Jeff, what we got to say here? Let me see. Didn't lose us the game. Let me see. My eyes are freaking amazing, right? I'm looking over here. I got computers all over the place. By the way, I have another camera that's going to pop up here that shines down. You guys can see the full production. There's cameras and computers everywhere. So that's why we're expanding the show. It's a lot happening. Let me read this here. Didn't lose us the game. Our defense was doomed by Dan Quinn already. It says being ready to coach. Okay, I see here. You're saying that Dan Quinn basically was the reason. You're saying right now that Dak didn't lose the game. It was the defense that lost the game. You guys agree with that? You guys agree with Jeff Lee saying that it wasn't even Dak. It wasn't his responsibility. You're saying the defense lost. Is that what you're saying? The defense lost the game? It's possible in the chat right now. What do you guys think? Is that true or false? Any other questions? Hashtag in the chat right now and you can pop it up. I appreciate you guys as we get ready to move forward. Let me drop that off for right now. If you guys have anything else to say, you can drop it in there. But listen, I got to tell you, Dak Prescott, he had an opportunity. He still has an opportunity. I know people right now watching this live stream and watching, after we get up here. And remember, when we sign off, do not forget to smack that like button, leave a comment. You guys cannot forget this in the live stream right now. If you're watching, when I get ready to sign off, give it a minute and come back and leave a message. Everyone that's in here right now, you have to leave a quick message on the actual uploaded video on YouTube, not just a side thing. When it uploads, it's going to push it everywhere. You're going to be so shocked when you see people into our live stream play-by-plays through the season with thousands of people. And then in our morning show, it's going to pick up and have hundreds of people in here. The most important thing, when I sign off on this, you must wait a second, let it upload, refresh your screen, come back into YouTube, whatever, and find the video and leave a message on the video on YouTube. It's so important to do that, and you're going to see so many people jumping our live stream. I appreciate you guys. It's been great. Dak Prescott has one hell of an opportunity. It's well-deserved. Will he get it? Yes or no? Are they saying goodbye to Dak Prescott after this season? Yes or no? He was in tears. That's all I'm saying. He said, I haven't pictured myself not playing for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to end the poll right now. The poll in the live stream. I know Pitbull Mama always tries to remind me too, right? Drop it in there right now. And we're getting ready tonight because we got a lot of wheel spinning going on tonight for the play-by-plays. If you're in there, we are going to spin the wheel and give away some money tonight. Drop the wheel out there. We're picking a lucky person to do that. I'm freaking excited to do that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Right now, remember, as we sign off, let it upload. Drop the dice out there. I'll say hi to everybody that's in there. Drop the dice in the chat, and as soon as I sign off, you're going to see the exit screen. We need this every day for all the freaking Mason mobsters. People there, we got some shirts coming to you, and we got some pizza orders coming to your house as well for the games. So make sure I sign off. You're going to see the end screen. After you see that, give it a second. Let the video upload. Go back, refresh it, and leave a message on the video. It's so freaking important. I will see you guys tonight for the game. We got the Texans. We got the Bears tonight. 8 p.m. Make sure you are here early. The live stream will start at 7:30. People start coming in. We're hanging out. Get your popcorn ready. It is a live stream watch party tonight. First one ever on the show. We did all NBA, thousands of people, and now we're heading into the NFL season. It's the first time. It's the first year we're doing it. I've never seen a Hall of Fame game in my life. So this is just going to be a play-by-play for it. We head to the preseason. We start moving, right? Get some new people. Come week one. Watch how many freaking people are going to dive in that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll see you guys tonight. 7:30. Write it down right now. I'm putting it in the chat right now. Let me put it in the chat so you guys don't forget and tell me, I didn't know. Well, now you know, and you'll get an email as well. 7:30 starts the live stream, 7:30 Eastern time. It's our first time back for the watch party like you saw the NBA season. 7:30, the kickoff. Well, the game starts at 8, but we're 7:30 on here. Live, rock and roll, get your popcorn ready. I will see you guys tonight. Have a great rest of your day. It's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. We're rocking and rolling. And one thing I got to tell you, as we end our screen, can we get a happy birthday to Colt here at the bottom down there? Happy birthday in the chat right now. It's my son's birthday. Happy birthday, Colt. We appreciate you. It's August 1st. You are freaking 5 years old, rocking and rolling, looking like a beast out there. We're so excited to have you, Colt. We love you. We love you. We love you. Happy birthday to you. We love you. Cannot wait to spend the day with you. And I'm still live in the morning today. You see me still live tonight, rocking and rolling. As I sign off right now, remember to wait, let it upload, and leave a message on the freaking live upload. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. I cannot wait to see this thing continue to grow. I will see you guys tonight, 7:30. Be there. Until next time.